This is an introduction video for the Week Supply module. From Back Office, go to Reports, then Week Supply. The Week Supply module is used as a forecasting report to determine the number of products you should mark down or order based on what you currently have on hand from the previous weeks. This module tells how many weeks of supply we will have left if we keep selling at the same rate in the analyzed period. Let's start by entering our search and filter criteria. Select the number of weeks to display with units sold within each week and select the date of the end of the last analyzed week. Now select the date range to show how many products were sold during that period of time. It will be displayed in the range column on the table. For example, if you select to view the last year, the range column will give you the quantity sold for each product within the last year. If you choose to uncheck the Include Sales from checkbox, you will not have a range column in the table. Choose which warehouse you would like to display the on hand for in the table. This will be displayed in the WHOH column, Warehouse on Hand. And select the Received After Date to show only the products that were received after your selected date. Now select what you would like to show in the table. Every checkbox option on the right becomes a column in the table at the top. You can select them all at once, or you can select them as any combination of one another. Choose if you would like to include discontinued items. Lastly, select whether you would like your week supply to be based on an average of all weeks or just the last week. The average of all weeks will give you a result based on your last selected amount of weeks, while basing it on just last week gives you a result by looking at only the last week numbers. For example, let's say I have 5 units sold 4 weeks ago, 20 units 3 weeks ago, 10 units 2 weeks ago, and 5 units last week. This week I have 15 on hand. Based on average sold of all the 4 weeks, I would have enough inventory for one additional week because the average sold of the 4 weeks is 10 units and I currently have 15 units. But if I base it on last week only, I would have enough inventory for 3 weeks because I only sold 5 units last week and I currently have 15 units. Click Run. Now you can see the results in the table at the top. The initial columns are the checkboxes you selected earlier. The OH column shows your current on-hand quantity for the selected product. The Week Supply column shows the amount of weeks your inventory will be in stock based on either the average of all weeks or only the last week, depending on what you selected earlier. The week ending columns shows the units sold for each product during those weeks. The range column shows the amount sold during the range you selected in the Included Sales From option. The Days Supply column shows an estimate for the number of days until the product is sold out based on either the average of all weeks or only last week, depending on what you had selected earlier. The WHOH column shows you the amount of on hand in the warehouse you selected. First received week shows you how many weeks it has been since you first received that product. Last received weeks shows you how many weeks it's been since you last received that product. Percent sold shows the percent of how many products were sold compared to how many you have received since inception. Number of markdowns will return to you the number of markdowns the product has gone through, while last markdown, dates, shows you the date the last markdown for that product. In the product menu bar, you have multiple options. You are able to show back office history. You can filter your results by store. The show option displays both of your sales and back office records for the selected date period. Alternatively, you are able to enter a new date range or search for a particular product. The CardX button gives you all results for the selected product in sequential order by date. To edit your short description or add a long description for your selected product in the table, click Description. To create a PO, choose Create PO. To create your purchase order number, enter your vendor purchase order number or enter your open to buy period. Next, select your start ship date and cancel date and enter any notes you would like. In the Now column, enter the new quantity for each product you would like to order. The Create PO is a floating screen, meaning you are able to select in the main week supply menu to change the values in the Create PO screen. You do not need to close the Create PO screen to do this. When finished, click Create PO. To create a transfer request, first ensure that you have selected the Store ID, Color, and Product ID checkbox. Enter the From and To Store and select the products you would like to request. Enter a reference number and click Commit. If you do not select a reference number, VRP will automatically generate one for you. This has been an introduction video for the Week Supply module.